Hi, today it's getting to be lunchtime and I'm getting hungry. I'm going to show you how I make one of my favorite oatmeal recipes. I'm going to have it for lunch. Yep, you heard me right. It's not just for breakfast anymore. You can make oatmeal sweet, like probably most of us are used to, or savory, the way I'm going to make it this afternoon. I use a Bob's Red Mill organic oatmeal, steel cut oats, and some garlic, lots of fresh vegetables and greens. And I'll be cutting these up and I'll show you what I do with them. Now here we are at the ingredients table. I've got all my ingredients ready to go. Now this is what I used. You can use anything you want, anything you like, doesn't matter. But this is what I've found to be really good. I'm going to use 2 cups of oatmeal today. This is going to be a pretty good sized batch. I got 4 cups of water. I ended up chopping up 3 jalapenos, regular size, 1 whole red pepper. I got some organic garbanzo beans and some diced tomatoes I'm going to add to it. I've got 2 carrots chopped up, 3 tablespoons of garlic, 1 whole red onion, about a quarter, maybe a little less than a quarter head of red cabbage, 5 or 6 good-sized mushrooms all chopped up, and a bunch of greens chopped up and diced. Now I chop up and dice everything because it makes it a lot easier to eat and a lot easier to mix everything together. Okay, I'm getting the heat going on the burner here. I like to start off with a little bit of garbanzo bean juice instead of any oils or fats. And I get that going. And I like to add my onions first. Onions and garlic, that is. And that way they can create a good flavor in the bottom there. I'll let that cook for a little bit, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. These have been cooking for about 3 minutes now. I'm going to add my carrots because they take a little bit longer to cook. And my red cabbage, that takes a little bit more. I don't want to overcook anything, but you know, it's going to be oatmeal, and so I don't want it real crunchy, but everything will cook down in here over the course of time. I think today I'll add the jalapenos so everything will absorb that flavor in there, because I like hot spicy foods myself. So obviously if you don't like hot and spicy, don't add the jalapenos. This has been cooking now for about 3 minutes, everything. I'm going to add the peppers and the mushrooms. So they don't take quite as long to melt down. And I'll mix that all in. I'm going to add some more garbanzo bean juice, actually the rest of it right now, because most of the water has been absorbed by everything, or the juice from the beans. And that'll keep them from sticking, everything from sticking to the bottom of the pan, but yet still let it cook without adding any oils. And now I will also add the tomatoes to let that flavor blend in there, and the garbanzo beans. And we'll mix everything together. And you notice we still haven't added the oatmeal yet. And we're going to let this simmer by itself for another few minutes. All right, everything's been simmering here for about 4 or 5 minutes, and it's all looking real good in there. Lots of good veggies and beans cooking together, melding. And now you're wondering, where does the oatmeal part come in? Well, you notice I still haven't added the oatmeal or the greens. I'm going to add 4 cups of water right now. And I traded out that water for some good hot water. And I'm going to bring that to a boil here, which shouldn't take too long, because the water was already at about 180 degrees. So we have the water's boiling now. I'm going to add the oatmeal. 2 cups. And this is going to really expand in there. Going to mix it up. And believe it or not, the oatmeal usually takes over. So after I get it mixed in there really good, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, put a cover on, and we'll let it simmer for a little bit. 5 to 7 minutes. So this has been simmering now for about 6 or 7 minutes. I got it on the low heat right now, and I'm gonna add the greens to it. Add all of those puppies in there. Then I'm gonna stir them in. And they really melt down really fast. I'm gonna shut the heat off at this point in time. The only heat these greens need to wilt down is the heat of the oatmeal concoction that I have here. And after I've got them all blended in there and mixed, I'm going to cover it and let it sit for a little. Okay, we're back here. And everything is cooled down. I've put them into little containers. Each one of these containers is a really delicious meal for me. My wife's going out of town next week, and I'm gonna have to cook for myself. So I've got, looks like 7 different meals. I've already eaten my lunch. And you might say, well, you're gonna have the same thing every day or every meal. Well, I have sauces. You probably noticed I didn't put any spices on this other than the vegetable spices like the garlic and the jalapeno. So I use different sauces and spices to change each one up. And it works out really good for me. Until next time, see you later.